Here's what I think is the number one law of self-improvement. Now, I've been doing self-improvement since I was 13 years old. I'm 17 now, so 4 years. 4 years of doing self-improvement, so I have like some credibility in this niche, right? And I've been thinking about this recently, right? I've been thinking about this, all the time. Like, what would be the base of self-improvement? What is like, like law one of self-improvement? What is like the first principle of self-improvement? Like the base where we build everything up on, basically, right? And I think I found it. And this is just my opinion, this is just what I think, but law one of self-improvement is never do what everyone else does. I repeat that. Law one of self-improvement is never do what everyone else does. And bro, if we look at every single successful person all across history, Alex Hormozi, Iman Gadzhi, Hamza, Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, every single successful person in all of history, all the philosophers, all the scientists, all the billionaires, all of the people we look up to, they all started with this. They all did this first law of self-improvement, which is they didn't do what everyone else did. In fact, they did the exact opposite of what everyone else does. Because the average person is depressed, likely to be divorced, overweight, they hate their life. They want to literally kill themselves. They find no meaning in life. They have poor relationships. They have no money. They're broke. They're in massive debt, massive college debt. They're addicted to social media. They care about politics and all this nonsense that doesn't even matter. They believe in a system that was created in the 1800s to create factory workers, not to teach you anything. The average person is addicted to porn and masturbation. The average person, he's invisible to women. He's invisible to girls. Girls don't even see him, let alone be attracted to him, bro. The average person, basically the average person is everything we don't want to be. The average person, and this is literally like every single thing I said, like right now, you can look it up. It's statistics. It's literally just analytics. If you look at the statistics, the average person is every single thing I just said. But the thing is, that's most people. Most people are the average person. Like, everyone else is the average person. Like 99% of people are the average person. You know why? Because people want to fit in. This stupid idea of, oh, you have to fit in. The average person, all they do is, they party and they hate working hard. They want everything easy. They want everything to be in the easy way, in the fast way, to be given to them, right? They don't put in hard work. Especially, like, bro, it breaks my heart. Like, even today, I just came back from school, and so many times we'll be in class, right? And the teacher will be like, oh, you have an assignment that's like 50 questions, right? And I'm like pumped up, I love work. I love working because that's my purpose as a man. My purpose as a man is to work. But there will be just those losers, man, who will be like, oh man, why are you giving me this assignment? Bro, you're solving it on AI and you don't even want to work. Like, young men today, it just hits me right in the guts, like seeing how they're so lazy and they don't want to put in the work. Like, it breaks my heart, man, seeing this. Seeing all these young men raised in this like evil way, literally evil way that makes them depressed. Like, Gen Z is the most depressed generation in all of history, and that's a fact. That makes them depressed, that gives them literally suicidal thoughts. The thing is, I was that kid, bro. I was that kid who was depressed, who hated to work, who hated doing anything hard, who always followed the easy way, who was addicted to video games, who used to watch porn every single day. I used to spend hours and hours on social media. I used to wake up like at 4 p.m. literally and just instantly be depressed. And I literally wanted to take my own life. because I did what everyone else was doing. Like, law one of self-improvement, in my opinion, and I promise you, I've done so much journaling, I've done so much thinking about this, I think this is it. Law one of self-improvement: never do what everyone else does. Because if you do what everyone else does, you will get what everyone else gets, and no one wants that. The other day, I heard Mike Tyson, he said these quotes which just hit me in my chest. He said, run at 3 o'clock in the morning because no one else will run at 3 o'clock in the morning. Do what no one else does. Everyone trains 3 hours, you train 4 hours. You train when the gym is closed. And when he said that, bro, it hit me right in the guts, man. And honestly, bro, looking back on what was stopping me from becoming literally the best version of myself, from getting every single thing that I want, was conformity. I'm scared of what other people will think about me. Bro, who cares what people who are gonna die in the next 3 generations are gonna think about you? And what if they hate about me? What if they, criticize me and tell me, oh, you changed or whatever? So, why should you care about people who are gonna not even show up at your funeral? Why should you care about people who are lesser than you? People who you will cast a shadow so big over them that no one will even care about them. I'm saying this to myself, I swear. The only thing that was stopping me was what will other people think. And right when I got over that, I literally just became obsessed with self-improvement. And that's why I'm making this video right now. Bro, I am welcoming you into the 1%. I'm welcoming you into our tribe, our cult. We are gonna be the strong men of the next generation. We are gonna, we're gonna be the best version of ourselves. We're gonna have every single thing we ever wanted. We're gonna be the top men who women desire and obsess over. We're gonna be the top men who get all the money, who get all the status, who are jacked, who are extremely intelligent, who read hundreds, maybe even thousands of books, who meditate, who journal, who take care of their mental health, who are healthy, who have, feminine, beautiful wives. We're gonna be those men. And I'm giving you an opportunity right now to get into our tribe. Because I know, bro, you don't want to be like all these other people. But we do what no one else does. We never do what everyone else is doing. Everyone else is on social media, we read books. Everyone else is, taking hot showers, we take cold showers. Everyone else is watching porn and fapping, and we go to the gym, we grind hard. While everyone is wasting their time, we're building businesses. While everyone else is wasting their time in meaningless jobs, we're building businesses. We're actually giving value to the world. While everyone else is literally subhuman and not exercising and eating all this junk food, we eat healthy food. While everyone else is eating chips and eating, processed food, we eat fruits and vegetables and chicken and meat. We eat healthy, good, nutritious food. While everyone else is depressed and stressed, we meditate, we journal, we take care of our mental health. While everyone else is arguing and, stepping over everyone else, we become good and kind-hearted people. We listen to other people. We encourage other people to become the best version of themselves. I'm telling you, it has never been easier to get every single thing you want out of this life. It has never been easier. People nowadays are so weak that you can literally get every single thing you want if you just put in some effort. If you actually try. And the way to do it is just so simple. You do it, you start, and you keep doing it. And you'll suck in the beginning, but then if you keep doing it, you'll get better and better and better until you get good. And the more you do it, and then you become great, right? Everything in the world is a skill that you can develop and you can build and you can maximize. So yeah, I've been thinking about this, and yeah, I think that's it. Law one of self-improvement is never do what everyone else does. I think that's it. Yeah. Never do what everyone else does. So yeah, that's it. Like while everyone else is partying and vaping and taking drugs and drinking alcohol and wasting their time on nonsense and destroying their health, we're in our rooms, alone. We're grinding. We're going to the gym. We're meditating. We're journaling. We're taking care of ourselves. We're improving ourselves. We're working on our businesses. We're becoming the best versions of ourselves. We're fulfilling every single ounce of potential we have. While everyone else is going to bed late and staying up late, we go to bed early. We go to bed at 9 o'clock, at 10 o'clock. While everyone else is waking up late and staying up late, we wake up early. We wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning because no one else wants to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning. When everyone else hates pain and hates, the cold, and whenever we take freezing cold showers. Because the only thing that separates the greatest people to ever live on this earth from everyone else, the greatest people in history and everyone else, is instant gratification and delayed gratification. That's it. 99% of people follow instant gratification. They follow what's easy now, but makes their life so hard in the future. Things like video games, things like porn, things like watching movies, things like eating junk food, not exercising, overeating. These things, they feel really pleasurable and feel really good right now, but make your life suck in the future. And the greatest people in history, they put all of their time and energy into delayed gratification. They put all of their time and energy into pain, into what's hard right now, into what's difficult right now, into what sucks right now. Because they know that if they keep doing it over a long enough period of time, over time, their life will be the best life they can ever live. They will become the best versions of themselves on the other side of pain. At the end of pain is success. At the end of pain is the person you want to be. And I heard this quote which I love, which is, if you go visit the darkness you've been running from, you're going to leave a better person. If you go visit the darkness you've been running away from, you're going to leave a better person. If you go invest in pain, if you go invest in hard things, like working out, like training martial arts, things like that, they physically hurt your muscles. But then you have literally infinite benefits, health benefits, mental health benefits, physical health benefits, that are just out of this world. When you go to the gym and you pick up the weights and you start curling dumbbells, it physically hurts you, it physically hurts your muscles. But in the future, right, your future self will be so grateful that you did that. You know why? Because you became more physically healthy. You became more mentally healthy. You became happier. You became more fulfilled. You became way more attractive to women, because women biologically want good genes, because a man with good genes has healthy sperm and can protect a woman, right? When you're muscular, right, muscles are the number one organ for longevity. You live the longest out of everyone in your bloodline because you did pain. Reading books, it's so hard, right? It's so boring, right? But you become this intellectual, you become this philosopher, you understand the world. Like literally, before I read a book and after I read the book, I'm literally a different person. I'm literally a different person after what I read. It changes your brain, like neuroplasticity. It rewires your circuits, the circuits of your brain. It makes you think in the way that the greatest people in human history were thinking. You literally read 40 years of someone's experience in 200, 300 pages. Something like meditating. It's so boring, but it makes you present, it makes you happy, it makes you fulfilled, it makes you love your life, it makes you love other people more. Something like journaling, it's boring, right? It hurts. You have to keep writing and you have to think and you have to work your brain. But the more you do it, the more you love it, the more you become obsessed with these things. And journaling, bro, it makes you understand yourself more. It makes you happier. It makes you more fulfilled. It makes you more grateful. It makes you a grateful person. It makes you a great human being to be around. And I promise you, after reading so many biographies, after reading probably over 100 books at this point, the only thing that separates the greatest people in history from everyone else is instant and delayed gratification. That's why law one of self-improvement is never do what everyone else is doing. Why? Because everyone else does instant gratification. They do what's easy right now, but makes their life hard in the future. And to be the best version of yourself, you have to do what's hard right now, but makes your life better in the future. And that's really all it comes down to. And if you look at any great person in history, take Elon Musk, for example, the richest person in history. If you've read his biography, which is fascinating, by the way, Elon Musk, he spent literally most of his childhood and teen years and even in his 20s and even in his 30s alone. He didn't have anyone. He didn't have any friends. But he would read for 10 hours. He would work on software. He would work on, creating games on computers. He would work on technology. And now he's the richest person in the world. One of the biggest things about people is people always focus on the event. People always focus on, oh, I wish I had all the money that Elon Musk had. Oh, I wish I had all the knowledge you had. Oh, I wish I had that muscular aesthetic physique. They want the event, right? But I'm telling you, most people will never even come close to getting that because they're focused on the wrong thing. They're focused on the event, they're focused on the outcome rather than focusing on the process. And that's really what separates the greatest people in history from the rest of from everyone else. Is everyone else focuses on events, focus on the outcome. But the greatest people in history, they focus on the process itself. They focus on the journey itself. So many people come up to me and they're like, oh man, I wish I had a physique like you, bro. I would have no problems. Oh, I wish I was so smart like you. Which thank you, it's a really kind compliment, but I never really focused on it that way at all. I just love going to the gym. I just love reading. I didn't start out that way at all. In fact, I hated going to the gym, but because I did it so many times, because I gained so much experience in that skill, my level kept going up, and the more passionate I became towards these things. Does that make sense? The more I did it, the more I loved it, the more I became passionate towards self-improvement. Why is it that 1% of people literally own 50% of assets, meaning 1% of people have 50% of all of the money in the entire world? 1% of people have 50% of all of the money in the world. Why is that? And if we broaden it a bit more, 10%, the top 10% have 85% of all assets. The 10% of people have 85% of all of the money in the world. Think about that. So 90% of people, most people, are we're doing all of these fights, we're doing all of these stupid bets online and all of this nonsense, and we're fighting all over all this money. We're fighting over 15%. 90% of people are fighting over 15%, which is what jobs give, which is what the wages give. But the top 10% and the top 1%, they're the business owners. They're the people with the most leverage. They're the people who give out the most value. And that's why they're the richest people on earth. Never do what everyone else does. You know, why is it that the top 10% of men literally get all of the women? The top 10% of men literally get all of the women. Like, women are obsessed with the top 10% of men. And the 90% of men are literally invisible to women. Women don't even care about them. But they will lust over, they will desire and obsess over the top 10% of men. Why is that? It's biology, it's evolution. Because biologically, women are hypergamous, meaning women always want the top best men. Women always want the alpha male. Women always want the men who have improved themselves the most in all of areas. In health, men who have good genes, have healthy sperm who can take care of them. In money, men who have resources who can provide for them and their children. Homes and food. You know, they have all the status. Why do women want status? Because status means that they're the alpha men, they're the top men. They can provide and protect. You see what I mean? When you get into the top men who have all the money, who have all the women, who have all of, the health, who are jacked, who are muscular, but at the same time they have money and they have wealth for their kids and their grandkids. So why do the top 10% of men get all of the women? Never do what everyone else does. It's because these top 10% of men improved themselves the most, while all of the 90% of men were wasting their time on what's the best pickup line, or how to have like the best Tinder picture, or on partying and fapping to OnlyFans girls, or fapping on Pornhub or whatever. These top 10% of men were improving themselves, were becoming the best version of themselves. They were reading books. They were going to the gym and becoming jacked, having good genes, having an attractive aesthetic physique. They were building businesses. While all of the 90% of men were wasting their time, the top 10% of men were becoming the best version of themselves. That's why women are literally obsessed with these men at the top. And if you look at, female porn, which is romance novels, the romantic heroes, like these top 10% of men are literally like the romantic heroes. I know this sounds so crazy, but it's literally what they're called. The romantic hero, he's always an alpha. He's always, a top man. He's always very respected. He's always like muscular and handsome and tall and jacked. He always has like tons of money. He's always like wealthy. Vampires and werewolves and emperors, kings and princes and all of that, right? So I'm telling you, when you get onto self-improvement, you will get everything you want. You will get girls. Girls will literally be obsessed with you, right? Because you're improving yourself. You will be very knowledgeable and wise because you're reading books. You will have like the best mental health of your life. You will have a jacked aesthetic physique. You'll be healthy, right? You'll be strong. It will give you everything you want. Literally everything you want. Confidence, charisma, social skills, happiness, fulfillment. Every single thing you want comes from self-improvement. And I truly believe that self-improvement will solve, and it did solve 99% of my problems, and it solves 99% of problems. But the cost, and this is a temporary cost, the only cost, the temporary cost of self-improvement is you don't fit in with other people. You don't relate to other people. Maybe you don't even have friends because you don't relate to anyone. And you don't want to put on a mask, right? That's the temporary cost. It doesn't even last. But self-improvement will give you every single thing you want if you commit to it, if you give it your time, if you give it your energy, if you commit to it and you focus on it. That means focus is the elimination of everything else except the thing you want. So if you focus on self-improvement and you eliminate everything else, I promise you, it will give you everything you want. Everything you want, everything you dreamed of since you were a little boy, you will get from self-improvement. And it all starts with law one, which is never do what everyone else does. And that's probably one of, if not the biggest lesson I've learned in my self-improvement journey, which is never do what everyone else does. Yeah, and I really want to hear what y'all think, what you think is like law one of self-improvement. I think this is law one of self-improvement, which is never do what everyone else does. But I want to hear what you want. I want to hear what you think is like the first principle or like the base of self-improvement, you know, based on your experience in self-improvement, right? And as always, we're in this together and we will make it.